Today we are drinking some pear Drax because I don't drink alcohol, and we are going to be talking about The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas and The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So we'll start off with The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. Both of these books, by the way, are super hyped, so I don't really want to focus too much on telling you what it's about, but I think you get the gist of this book. It's set in New York, it takes place during the course of one day, it follows two main characters. We have, first of all, Natasha, who is Jamaican American, and her family are set to be deported at the end of this day, and then we have Daniel, who is Korean American, and he is going to do an interview to get into Yale, but he doesn't really want to do an interview to get into Yale. He's just doing it to appease his parents. The book follows the two of them until they cross paths, and this is kind of where they start to fall in love. However, this book does explore explicitly the trope of insta-love or falling in love at first sight. So it's not like that's ignored, that's actually one of the basic premises of the story. And I have to say, overall, I think this book, for what it was absolutely well done. Nicola Yoon manages to get you gripped to Natasha's situation. She doesn't shy away from the very dark nature of that particular situation. However, she does such a good job at interweaving the romance into the story and balancing it out with that. And I couldn't believe how she was able to compress all of these things during the course of one day. This book was just such a testament to how good Nicola Yoon is as a writer. I think the romance was done really well in this. I am one of those people who's a little bit kind of sort of skeptical about it because, I mean, listen, it takes place during the course of one day, they fall in love, and while she does really justify well the idea of falling in love at first sight or falling in love at second sight, I just couldn't grapple with the fact that these were two people who just met. Like, the romance dynamic between the two of them was so well done, but whenever I reminded myself that they only knew each other for a few hours, then that's kind of where I just go like, okay then. And then there's the fact that Natasha is being deported at the end of the day, or is set to be deported at the end of the day. She's actually trying to put a stop to it. But she's just, she be listening to her music, she be singing karaoke, she be getting these men's. I'm not trying to say that's unrealistic. I mean, sometimes if you're in a situation like that, you might just be like, F it, I'ma just live up my life. If that was me, I'd have been having like 6 anxiety attacks in a row. So, I mean, props to Natasha. However, the romance dynamic, as I said, was done absolutely well. It was cute, it was swoon-worthy. If you're the kind of person who likes OTPs and ships and all that kind of other shit, then this book might appeal to you quite a lot. And the writing here is very fast and consumable, so this is something you could sit down and just read in a day. Moving on to the issues of immigration and race. First of all, I love the interracial relationship aspects of this book because this is an interracial relationship that you don't particularly see all the time. Usually, whenever we hear about interracial relationships, it's usually like a black person or a white person, or just like a white person and any other like race that is not white. I really like that we had a different kind of mix with that here, and it is kind of semi-based on Nicola Yoon's experience because she is Jamaican American, but she is also married to a Korean American man. I really felt the genuinity, I felt that in this book when it came to the romance. I thought that the issues of immigration itself was handled really well. It does kind of humanize the experience, especially in the context of places like the United States and France and all these other first world countries that are just really being shitty about immigration, that just have these really harmful ideas about what an undocumented immigrant is. Put yourself in their shoes instead of just, whining and like complaining that, oh my god, like the country is going to shit because of me. No, boo, the country is going to shit because of you. Well, let me not go there, that's a touchy area. But I will say that this book is just an excellently constructed book, as I said before. The only thing is, I just don't feel like this is a book that will stick with me. It was very enjoyable in the moment, but for some reason, it's not resonating with me in the way that I would have wanted it to. But I absolutely adored it. I think it's absolutely important, especially given the context of the United States and all these other countries, as I said before. And I definitely think that you should go ahead and give this one a read. I gave it 4 stars. Speaking of, like, context of the United States, we have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and I decided to review both of these books together because they both really do kind of like address current issues in a way that haven't really been addressed in a lot of the YA contemporary books that I usually read. This one has been blowing up all over the place. It's set to become a movie. It was set to become a movie even before the book came out at the end of February, and everybody is talking about it, everybody loves it, and I'm so glad that this book is so hyped and so talked about and so well received because it's absolutely worth all of the hype that you have been hearing about. So The Hate You Give is about Star, who's an African-American girl, and one day she's coming home from a party with her childhood best friend Khalil, and they are pulled over, and Khalil is shot unarmed, unwarranted, by a police officer in cold blood, a white police officer, and the book just kind of takes off from there. Obviously, this book is heavily influenced by current events as well, and the Black Lives Matter movement, and the specific issue of police brutality in the United States, and how people try to make certain ideas out of the victims of these crimes and try to paint them in a way where they should be deserving of what happens to them. So this book deals with that, but it's not only that. You would think that it's just about her dealing with that, but it's so much more. It's about her living between two lives as she attends a predominantly white school, but she lives in a predominantly black lower class neighborhood. So she's grappling with these two very different worlds, and she talks about code switching and just being two completely different individuals in these two completely different contexts. It also has an interracial relationship kind of thing woven into it, as her boyfriend Chris is white. So the story also plays a little bit of a part in her dynamic with him. And there's also a lot of this book is one of those books that balance friendship and romance and family really well. However, the romance aspect of this book is just not the main thing. The book could have done without it, and that's what I really liked about it, because normally with these YA contemporaries, the romance tends to take over everything. But in this book, even though it's done absolutely well, it does not take over. It's like completely in the background. This book is really about Star and her family, her parents, who are among the best parents I've ever read about in YA, her brothers, her friends, everything in here. You see, the thing about this book is that if I start on everything, then I won't stop. I will just leave all the themes and all of that out of this for now, because I feel like everybody has covered that more eloquently with me, and I want to talk about the more objective stuff about this book. When I say objective, I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just using it as a term to refer to like writing, character, plot, all of that stuff. Holy shit, this book was so freaking good. Angie Thomas's writing is very sincere, it's very honest, and she does a really good job at bringing all of these issues in and weaving it into the story. The only issue I would say is that sometimes I feel like she could have been a bit more subtle with the messages that she's trying to put forward. Now and again, like you'd just be reading and then boom, message, you know. At the same time, especially if it's a younger reader reading this book, they kind of need that message to be in their face. And this is also Angie Thomas's first book, so you can't expect it to be perfect in every single write. With regards to plot, again, holy shit, this book is so enthralling. This is the kind of book that will keep you up late at night. I mean, it took me a while to read it because I made the mistake of starting it before exams, and I had to stop and then start back after exams. But the last 100 pages though, the last 100 pages in this book had me like on my, like, I was upside down fucking reading that shit. Because that's where like everything starts to get super intense. Like imagine drinking like hot chocolate and then you reach the end where it's like really rich at the bottom. That is how the end of the last 100 pages of this book is. Woo! Okay, let's move on. The characters though are the strong point of this story. If it's anything that Angie Thomas has, is that she has an extreme talent of writing realistic, lovable, human, flawed characters. None of the characters here are squeaky clean, as the book Archer puts it. Regardless of whoever is like a drug dealer and whoever has like a criminal past and stuff like that, Angie Thomas humanizes the situation in the sense that she is telling you, okay, that's not all they are. You have to understand, with a lot of working class communities all over the world, people don't choose to be a certain way. People don't just go, hey, I want to be a drug dealer because that sounds like fun. Because it's not fun, because of how they are rejected by the mainstream society. They are forced into these different scenarios and different situations. The best character in this book, who stole the entire story for me, who was I want to be this bitch when I grow up, was Star's grandmother. Oh my God, this woman, oh my God. I love the part where she was like, what? I can't even find it because I tabbed up so many things. She was just like, she was swirling when she was her age, and she was like, swirl on girl, and I was like, oh my God. Anyways, I'm going to end this here by saying that I gave The Hate You Give 5 stars. I want to give this 5 stars. It deserves 5 stars. It's getting 5 stars from me. Even if I change my mind, it still gets 5 stars because it deserves 5 stars. So that was my review for This One Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon and The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Please go fix your life and read these books, especially if you like YA contemporary. You will appreciate these books. Even if you don't like YA contemporary, you will love these books because they are incredible, they are important, they are necessary, and they need to be read, and they need to be even more hyped and more promoted than they already are. So in the comments down below, let me know what you thought of The Hate U Give, and this one is also a star if you've read them. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.